The topic today will be on sexual energy. What is sexual energy? Sexual energy is creative life force. Sexual energy represents a person's will, and where the will is projected into existential existence, because everything is inwards, manifested through outwards expression. So what happens is people overuse or overexert themselves when they're using excessive energy, excessively. The important thing is to remember your energy is precious. It's yours. So who is it that you wish to share it with? Where do you wish to project yourself? Just because a child is not conceived does not mean that the energetic links between you and the other is not conceived. You see, there's actually a danger in overusing your sexual energy. Yes, sexual energy is cleansing, it's purifying, because it releases all of your toxins, neurotoxins, as well as physical toxins and chemical toxins. But what it cannot clean is astral toxins. When a person is exfoliating or releasing, they're releasing chemicals, hormones, and it's releasing from their body. However, the residual stays on the exterior. If they're feeling negative, then that negativity is shared with you. Duh. Problem is, we're so attracted to hormones. We're attracted to melanin, serotonin, oxytocin. We crave these hormones, and so we stop at nothing to experience them again. A person's pheromone count can override your sensibility at times, especially if you're not a centered person. You can fall susceptible and victim to people's heightened sexual levels. But in times of desperation, remember you have to love yourself more, because that is when you are vulnerable. And you never want to act out when you're in vulnerability, because what happens is those emotions that settle in afterwards take a long time to remove themselves from your nervous system. Personally, I've gotten involved with people who had post-traumatic stress. Before I started my path, I would get involved with almost anyone who came my way because I didn't love myself enough. In a sense, I was somewhat desperate because I couldn't see my own beauty. I couldn't perceive myself. And yes, you can blame it on a degree of many things. You can say, oh, it's my parents, it's my upbringing, it's who brought me up in this world, or my circumstances which caused me to have this lack of self-love. But if you have this lack of self-love, it makes you open and available and accessible to almost anything. Not saying your experience will be the same as mine, but what I'm saying is it's important to know yourself and act in accordance to your own goodwill and faith. Despite your religious ideals, we all have a sense of strong character, of will. There's a voice of intuition which resides within all of us. Not in the heart, not in the mind. It's deeper. It goes beyond the flesh. I love what the Kabbalists have created, the analogy of God. It says in the beginning there was nothingness and it created gods. So that means there was an infinity that created a form, a perceivable form. If your will is fixated on this inconceivable, limitless form, limitless light, then your own light within yourself is activated. Every single instance in your life is necessary. I was talking to a friend the other day, And she was telling me how she was getting involved with a particular person, and prior to them meeting, she kept having dreams of someone very important to her who had passed away. And this person was appearing in her dreams in a way to show her not to get involved yet. It came in the form of a representative, someone to block the exchange of energy, because God does not want you to live in misery. This world is made for everyone. But the problem is, too many people put high expectations on God. You can't do 40% and expect God to do 60. It doesn't work like that. God does its part. You have to do your part. God is both male and female. We've gone over this exercise through other videos, because God cannot be male and not understand female emotions. That would not be plausible, nor would it be accepted throughout history. Push and pull is feminine and masculine, therefore God is a feminine and masculine force. But if you're comfortable saying he or she, then by all means, it's an it. So it will take on any identity you wish to bestow on it. And so, going back to the story, this force appearing as a loved one was pushing my friend away. And I said, yeah, because you're not living for your truth yet. So if you're not living for your purpose, you're only going to attract people who also are not living for their purpose. The universe keeps validating how you feel. If you feel horrible, it's going to bring horrible instances around you. In that moment of desperation, when you feel like no one's around, that's when Holy Spirit works. In the deepest parts of the earth, that's where the gems are found. That's where the oil, where the riches, where the gold is found. So in the deepest recesses of your own mind, that's where your own truth is found naturally. The soul is interesting. In Kabbalah, they teach us that we have the lower soul, the mid soul, and the higher soul, and the soul that always lives with God. So we take on the human vessel to do the action, to purify, in a sense, higher worlds. When humans come together, our collected data through interaction is what causes God to feel. So we're shaping the cosmos readily through every action. So we have to evolve together so that we can bring this light down and evolve everyone, essentially. You notice how when you're growing in evolution, everyone around you is affected. People look at you differently. They say, whoa, what is it about you? What are you doing different? You're doing your hair differently? Maybe. Are you, what did you do? You did anything new? Anything to your face? Your family begins to question you. What are you doing? Well, you're not wasting your sexual energy anymore, right? You're turning it into creative energy. When you draw upon your desires from a place of prominence and self-respect, then it's limitless. When you're drawn upon your desires for the sake of feeling desperate, then that hits a wall, mental, emotional, and spiritual wall. Because you're not really understanding source. You're only understanding your limitations. So that's the first part of your development, of you walking the path. So your friends begin to see you in a different light, because you begin now to understand who you wish to share your energy with and who you know is a drain on your energy. By all means, yes, you have to be open, compassionate, and loving to everyone. But people will take, and they unwillingly do not even realize that they're doing it. They will take. If you put food on the table, beggars will take. If you completely give yourself, people will take. They know nothing but that, but to do that. Now, if you show them, yeah, I changed. I had a few upgrades. You don't have to say that. But you can say, yeah, I'm doing things for myself. I feel good. I feel happy. I'm happy. I'm happiness. I'm the embodiment of it. I am joy. I'm love. I'm light. And so I walk in my truth. I walk in my light. The power of words. Our vocabulary has been downgraded to such a degree that every word we say is viable. Every word is also detrimental. Well, every sentence, rather, nowadays, to our nowadays modern equivalency to our English standard. We say words like, I'm trying, or every time this happens. So it follows us because we gave permission to it. And what's more is we can't help it. It's like we've agreed on allowing our words to translate and convey what our heart is trying to say. So our words, through vicious upbringings, aggressive upbringings, constantly release these toxic vibrations. We say, oh, I wish, or every time I. The moment you say, every time I, or when I try this, this happens, or that's why I don't do this, or that's why I don't do this, or I'm trying. Every time you say that, you have destroyed your wish. You can't get mad when what it is you wanted comes before you and it displeases you. Do you know why? Because you are focusing on your wants and don't wants at the same time. Your words have been inputted so that you get half of it. So whatever comes your way will only be a fragmented reality. So don't waste your sexual energy. It's creative. Utilize it. Sex should be something that is, in my opinion, nurturing. My friend told me a beautiful story I'll share with you. She said, Tanichi, describe to me what sex is to you. What is a pool? Where is this pool emanating from? Describe to me the source of water, where everyone gets this water, the vastness of it, and what's in the water, and the color of the water, the temperature of the water. So I described the kind of water that I would believe to be ideal for society. My perception of where this source of water is, it's almost like Buddhist-like, or Shangri-La, or Shambhala-like. It's like a haven. My ideal water source would come from a cave. A cave with an endless spring, with crystals in the water. Temperature, of course, cool, but not freezing cold, just cool. Clear water, high pH levels. Endless. Within this cave, there'll also be caverns revealing light so that you yourself can perceive where this water source is coming from, leading to the endlessness of this cave with stalactites, stalagmites to every naked eye, and beyond, marshes, trees, lavender and neon lights, the whole shebang. That's my source of water. And what she told me when I described to her my source of water, she said, Tanichi, you just describe what sex is to you. Sex should be vast, endless. It should be rejuvenating. It should be giving and nurturing. It should be well received and ingested. an endless supply of crystallization, lush and vast. So that's what sex is to me. And to be honest, if it's not that, it's something bad. So ask your friends, where's the source of water? Where does it originate from? Try it out and you'll see what sex is to them and how it's been programmed in their mind. For many years, it took me a long time to understand. Yes, there's playful sex, as long as you guys are in a coherence with one another as to the rules. You're not allowed to get mad if there are no rules. When your heart gets involved and the other person's heart is not involved, then pull out